Balaji, Wells Fargo is a financial powerhouse, right? So in financial services, it's even lesser possibility to retain a moat of originality. Like there's nothing very different that I cannot copy if I'm going to. So there, would you think execution plays the bigger hand, or would you think that still originality and what you bring new?
When I talk to new hires coming to our organization, I always make this point. I said, a lot of times when we look at innovation, we always think it's the next big thing, right? But I almost feel every process can be done better, exactly, right? And that's, so for us, when you look at a 170-year-old bank, when we look at how do we reinvent and how do we stay relevant? And if you look at the number of companies that, fall off the S&P 500, you'll see, big chunk of them fall off, right? And that's because they don't constantly innovate and they're always thinking of the next big thing, right? So I feel innovation sometimes is just, when I talk to individuals, I say, when you come to a company and somebody gives you something, always say, is there a better way to first do it, right? But then constantly keep thinking, can I automate this? Can I do this better? Is there, and now with this whole gentic agents and all that, right? We're entering a whole new paradigm now, right? They say, the AI is not going to take your jobs, but a person who knows AI is going to take our jobs, right? So clearly, if you're not catching up with that trend, we are really going to, so I feel, innovation, at least in our field, is every day we wake up and say, how can I do things better than what I did yesterday? Right? It's just a culture of constant innovation and constantly trying to do something better.
First thing I would like to say that I really enjoy being last. I can always summarize and sound intelligent. Having said that, let me try a little bit on this. I think we address two parts of innovation. That's what I could hear from everyone. One is the innovation, which is, of course, important. Second part is the execution, which, of course, is very important. Without that, it is not possible. I think there is a third dimension to my mind. I may be wrong or I may be slightly in tangent. I think while you can find great companies who have done great innovation, like mobile was invented by IBM, if I'm not mistaken. Did that company lack in execution capabilities? I don't think so. No. Maybe so. Your first point, whether it was at the right time, maybe that makes an important aspect. Still, let's say somebody else took it. So many of us spoke about BlackBerry and all of. There's a company called Sony. They had great innovation, great execution. I think the third dimension is, are you able to take an innovation, do a great execution, and then scale it up at the right time? I think a lot of companies who are successful in our age are companies who have been able to scale up at the right time. Maybe it was incidental, maybe it was their efforts, but scaling is one of the biggest, maybe underrated item on this. Now, I don't know who invented this shared cab business. Uber scaled it across the globe. Or I don't know who invented Swiggy. You scaled it up in India. Ola scaled it up in India. But you start seeing that if you are not able to scale up to the right market and the segment across the globe, that even with a great execution of Ola or some of these mega or these come of cabs, you start losing that stuff. So I think it is a complete process. So maybe innovation, new idea is a start. Execution is your second step. Scaling up is your third step. And then the cycle keeps going on. You have to keep doing that in everything. So that's my small view and summarization of some of the points.
If we want to go with originality, in today's time, what is it that you think is the premium that we can accord to originality? Right? And premium could be in different dimensions as well, like not just the initial coming to the market early kind of premium which pharma guys get, but could be other ways of premium itself, right? So what do you think is the premium that originality gets you, if at all any, and what are the different aspects that you think that can?
So, okay, so it's of course, so the premium which can be attached to originality also depends upon how original the idea is. And typically, what I have noticed, a lot of companies are putting their chips into multiple buckets. So one of the originality, which is like today and tomorrow. The second one is like midterm, and the third one is complete long term. And originality has multiple signals which you give to the market as well. Of course, there's a signal which you can give to the market that you are the innovator in this space, which Salesforce have done with agentic AI. Since you mentioned about agentic AI, Unilever does signaling that I can manage a distribution network best, and that's what they do at the process innovation part. So ultimately, the originality also comes down to the company strategy, that what are you going to signal yourself with originality overall. Are you going to be a thought leader, or are you going to be value centric, a company which is going to innovate and so on. And and this signaling can be divided into multiple categories. For example, uh, you want to position yourself that next best tech, the next best distribution company, the next best company which can understand the customer segment, or the next best company which is going to send people to Mars and so on. So it's all comes to the holistic view of looking at originality, not only the value, the immediate value of the consumers from my perspective.
Do you think that if I start something new, how long could I, you know, expect to get a premium out of this? It need not be just the margin. It could be other things in the customer's mind. A lot.
This is very subjective. And if you go back to the college days, something that we all read probably was the competitive advantage of Peter Drucker. What is that? It is nothing but exactly same thing, that what can you do little different, which can make you shine out for some time. Eventually, people will, other organizations and everybody will catch up. But how that different, what is the difference, for how long you keep it, that is what your premium is. Now, in different industries, and it's in different time frame. Somewhere it is protected, somewhere it is not. But it is there in each day, and each employee can do it every day. That's the important thing, which is the point that he is mentioning, that how do you continuously innovate the process? And you would find the employees who are coming up with the new ideas and are able to get it a little executed. These are the people who shine in any organization. So that's a premium. That's a premium at an employee level. That's a premium at an organization level. So I think there is a premium. But of course, it goes with an execution ability of that idea.